Okay. So what I think that one good way of doing it is like we have been doing for the article, right? I make a literal translation in English, and then after each of you make a literal version in your own language. Yeah. Okay. So.
And just to make sure that I understand what we talked about, I think yesterday, it was like make one document that is as literal as possible, and then don't touch that, create a new document, and that's where we try to kind of play with the language. And that's the one that the language advisor checks, and then another document where it's like a clean one.
Yes.
So at least we'll have
actually,
3 documents.
Yes. Yeah. At least 3. Yes.
Cool.
And actually, you saw when we were looking at the Bible, we saw that there were some which were word for word accurate, really very close word for word, close to the original, to the Hebrew or ancient Greek, and some others that were very much adapted and readable. So we can see the literal translation that we will do as a draft that only helps us to get to the real translation. But on the same time, for people who want to get close to the Tibetan, it is also like the same for people who want to read the Bible as close as possible to the Greek and to the Hebrew.
I see.
So our literal translation can be considered as actual versions, just like the literal translations of the Bible are actual Bible versions. So try to make it at least not go against the grammar rules of your language, so that other people can read it. Even though it's not well written, even though it's kind of not so nice to read, etc., but if at least try to make it convey the whole meaning. And then after, make another version which will be readable and enjoyable to read.
Kind.
Yes, kind to the reader. Yes, exactly. So yeah, now I'm getting stuck with all my comments. Chezun chambel yang kita bayishi yunde song nyunga shijawa shuso. Okay. So until here.
Sorry, which document should we make a copy of? The Word document to put in our folder?
You can create a new one.
A completely new one. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. And then, of course, if you want to copy the Tibetan inside, also great, just like for the article.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I got it.
Okay. So here, maybe I'm going to make 2 versions. Membership. Okay. So let me take that. And one with the comments and one without the comments. I think that will be easier, because otherwise it's all cluttered in here. You can't even see what's happening. Okay. 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 So that's the literal, what he was commenting on. And so here it says, so Chizun Chambel Yang Ki Taba Bal Shi Yunten Sangbo Shi Jawe number Shepa Nyumenga Shi Jawa Shuso. Okay. So let's first make I will make the literal translation in English first, and then we go over his commentary, so that we kind of make things clear. We don't mix up things.
I don't know if it's bothering anyone, but would you mind sharing your screen so I can see where you are in Tibetan and I can have my
Okay.
own document? And
Yep.
yours is
No
moving.
problem. Okay.
Thank you.
So let me
Are you-
the one that I am no, 1 minute. I think now if I try to share.
Not convenient, don't worry.
Yes, okay. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I was just trying to get it. Okay. Yeah, I'm doing it in the wrong place.
Yeah, I was about to tell you I didn't see the other document.
Yes, right. Yeah, I'm doing it into transcribe, which is the other thing. Right. That's what happened. Okay. So what are you seeing?
We're seeing the Manjushri Praised folder.
The folder itself. Okay.
Yes.
So that's not what I wanted to share. Okay, so that's fine. Yes, here. Yes. Okay. So then here. Yeah, I have 2 times open. Okay, so now it's here. So, yes. So, Jitsun Chambe Yang, so the Venerable Manjushri, Ki Toba, so the praise of Manjushri. And Pel Yeshiyon Tenzangbo, the one that is called Pel Yeshiyon Tenzangbo. Shejawa, that is called. And number Sheba Nyunga. So it is here, like we see, it is the number Sheba is a commentary. And Nyunga is words, or yes, the sound of words, and Nyungo is a few. So a few words, or yes, a few words, or a small speech, or something like that. And Shejawa is just to say this is the title, and Shuso, like he is going to say here, it is just to say here is what is contained in here. Under this title, here is what is found. So yes, I'm not in English. So yeah, it would be a few words or a small speech or something like that as the main title, and the subtitle is, so this is Nyunga. So that is the title of the commentary of Jamin Khyentse Wangpo, and then what it says is a commentary on the praise of Venerable Manjushri, called Yunten Yishe Yunten Zangbo. So this is the name of someone. It is Yunten, I think it's Guna Bandra. Yes, okay. Okay, so that's the literal translation, that's the meaning. And now coming to what he was saying about it, is that, so he started by saying that here, and Jamin Khyentse Wangpo is commenting, actually he made a I think he didn't understand probably who was commenting. I think he didn't have the time to check correctly, and he was thinking it was Miparamochi. So in the audio, he says Miparamochi is the one who is commenting. But it is Jemekente commentary. And so he was saying that the text that was commented upon is this praise by this praise of Manjushri. And then he made a commentary of each word of Manjushri's name. So here we have Jitsun, which is rendered as venerable. And J here stands for Tso, the main one. And Tsun here, so the second word of venerable is Jetsun, like we see here. Tsun stands for the one that does not have any defect or any fault. So meba. And basically someone who doesn't go against any rule and follows very closely all the discipline that is required. And so this obviously goes in the side of monks and ordained people. And he said that generally speaking, Tsumpa is not a quality that is limited to monks only, but can be understood as the behavior of someone who follows what is expected of him and respects all the responsibility that he has been given. And so someone who takes this responsibility and follows the rules of where he's living and what he's doing is someone who is Tsumpa. And here, generally speaking, in the context of this name of Manjushri, so here Jetsun, venerable, Tsun could be understood as someone who is not stained by fault. So we say that Manjushri is the main one and that he is unstained, that he doesn't have any fault. He didn't make anything wrong. And yes, okay, so that's his explanation for Jitsun. After that, he said, well, Chambayang is the deity, Manjushri, obviously. And then taking each word once again, Cham is Chambo, like we have in spoken Tibetan. It's like Chambo is something that it's not rough, the opposite of rough. And we say we can say of someone that his behavior is very kind of, pacified, or his behavior is very nice and he's not someone who's confronting all the time. That would be someone Chambo. Someone who is sweet, lovely, and doesn't have any rude behavior, and who is flexible. So that's the way he put it, Chambo. And so Pal, he didn't comment anything about that, but it's glorious. And Yang, I think he was taking as the basis of this commentary Manju Gosha, or maybe that will come later on in the comment. Yes, that will come later on. But yes, so Pal he didn't comment on, and said Yang is actually the melody, so the quality of someone's voice to be agreeable and melodious. And it's not, in this case, we should not take Yang as the vowels, even though in Tibetan, Yang and Selje, you have the vowels and the consonants in the alphabet. And so here it is not this Yang, it's not the vowels that we have to understand, but just the quality of someone's voice being melodious. Okay, so it is a praise to this Manjushri that is being commented. And then we have Pel Yishe Yonten Zambo, which I put at Jana Gunabhadra, which is the name of someone, and he commented on them. So he said that Yishe, it is all the things that we hear about. So it's wisdom, and it's all the things that we hear about the mind, like the nature of the mind, or what we are talking about when we hear about the 5 wisdoms, or the wisdom to know everything in detail and everything as they are, things as they are. So the two kinds of omniscience of a Buddha, it's still the same Yeshe. But generally speaking, what we can understand of wisdom is of Yeshe is that it is the nature of the mind that doesn't have any stay anymore. So we can think of what wisdom is as the mind that is without any fault or defect, that is completely pure. We can have this general idea in mind. That was enough for this context. And then the next word is yönten. Yönten is quality. And in Tibetan, yönten has this connotation of being something positive. In English, when you say the quality of something, it has more to do with the characteristics. You can say the quality of being angry, that's fine. And so here Kempo was saying that quality has this side that can be not only positive, but in Tibetan, yönten has this connotation of being only positive. And then this is further kind of confirmed in this context, because right after yönten we have Zangpo. Zangpo is noble, and noble is always positive. So these qualities are noble qualities. And then after we have Nambar Shepa, and Kempo just said that it was commentary or a treatise. So it is like a work. And literally, if we wanted, so this is I'm adding myself. If we want to go into detail of the word itself, Nambar Shepa, Nambar is an aspect of something. She is to say, or to present, or to explain. And so to explain something in all the different facets or the different aspects of it. So it's this kind of commentary, this kind of work about this praise that is going to be found later on. Nambar Shepa, so yes. And Nyunga Nga. And now here Kempo said that it is what represents the sound of the voice of someone. And so this is represented in writing by letters. So Nyunga and Nyungo is meaning little, Nyunyo. And so here it is to say that the author would not make a commentary that is very extensive, but just a few words. Just a short explanation of it. And so that's why you have Nyunga. And that he understood also as like a few words or a small speech or something like that. Okay. Shejawa Shukso. Shejawa, yes, like I said, Shejawa Shukso is just to say that here under lies what has been just described by this title, so this commentary. Okay.
So Drupchen, just in that part, the Jetsun was what was translated as venerable, right? And the noble qualities as the praise?
No, praise is Topa.
And where is the noble qualities then? Or is it part of the name?
Yönten Zampo. This noble qualities is what I put as Guna Badra.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I can.
No, well,
qualities. No. Jnana is wisdom. Jnana Guna. You'll understand what I want. I prefer to keep the Sanskrit right after.
Yeah.
Because the glorious wisdom quality is noble. It sounds strange.
Yeah.
You can't really make a meaning out of it. It's the name of someone.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't explain it either, like making a sense as a whole. He just said, yeah, this means this means that. Okay. So were you able to write down to make the literal translation and then put the comments that you felt are going to be useful for you in your file?
I I didn't know we were putting comments. We could, but at least here now, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, the idea, maybe I was not clear enough, but for Santiago and Caterina, because it's the first time you're doing this, the way that we're doing is that we are first making a literal translation. And then after, I'm bringing in the comments of the Kempo. And here it is nothing that this really will change the way you're going to translate it. But later down the text, there may be some places where his explanation will actually make you take a different way of translating things.
I see.
So for that purpose, it's always good to have the notes, in comments, what the Kempo was saying. So that afterwards, when you want to make the good translation or the not literal translation, then you can remember what the Kempo has said also. You can come back to it. And this will help you in making the choices.
Okay.
But this piece that you were referring to, that we have seen, are you putting the words, the sentences in English or not?
So what I will do in English is just the basic literal translation.
Yes, but
yes. And then after, for the commentary of the Kempo, I will just say it orally. Yes, I will say it orally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you take note on top of it. At the same time that I make the literal translation, you can take it and make your own in your own language. And then after that, when I make the explanation, then you can take notes for the parts that you feel that you will need afterwards when you're going to be improving the translation and make the other version.
So the words that are in the text, I mean, some of the words that are in the text that he explained in this part.
Yes.
So you have put in brackets for instance, you have the sweet and.
Yes, yeah. This is actually you can listen to the audio, and you will hear the Kempo saying in English sweet, and rude and lovely and flexible. So he actually speaks in English at those moments. It's not me who is putting it. Yeah.
But
when he speaks in Tibetan, I write in Tibetan.
So, but this part in Tibetan.
Yes.
That so, you have here.
Okay. So what I'm selecting here, you see, Katarina?
Yes, yes.
So this what I'm selecting now is a closing bracket, closing Tibetan bracket.
Yes.
And this one is the closing opening bracket. This opening bracket. So this in between is what Kempo explained for here, J. And for Tsun, then I took note of this much of what he said.
This is your own writing?
Yes, this is me. Yes, yes. I took notes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm listening to the audio. I take note, and then after I have to tell it to you in English. And I don't have good memory. So if things are not written, I can't tell it back to you.
No, yeah, of course, it's a whole text. Yeah.
Yeah, some people are able, but I'm not. So.
And okay. And here we don't have anything of the text. So what you placed here, the brief words. Yes. Why did you write then the English there? Because this is
the literal translation.
You are saying a few words, a small speech. Then this is part of the text that is in the. I mean, part of the praise, right?
This is the title of the commentary. So here, look, let me make things clear. This is
the Kempo's explanation.
The Kempo, no, it is the text with the Kempo's explanation. Both of them are together.
Oh, the text is there?
The text is there also.
The text of the
Jam Pel.
It's like he's putting parentheses in between the words to write the commentary.
Yes, yes. Yes, okay. Thank you, Danny.
This this is but you have your own what you heard from the Kempo, and then you have the text.
Yes.
Oh, it's a bit confusing. Danny. It's a bit confusing, yes.
Yes, but that's why actually I have the one down there. This one here that I'm
What?
selecting
Oh,
now.
this is the old sentence. Okay.
Yes, this is only the Tibetan without Khenpo's commentary. Only the text.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. So when I am explaining to you, I'm looking at my notes here in blue. But you have the literal version that is already down here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, now it looks much more easy to
Yeah.
go through with
Yeah,
the colors. Yeah.
Even when you're explaining, probably, right?
Yes. I'll have to make lesser fonts. Yes. So are things more clear now, Katarina?
Yes. 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 Now it is. With the color is better.
Okay. Yeah, but up there you don't need to go and look. If you want to look, of course, it's okay.
I mean, the sentence is okay. It's here. Okay.
Yeah, the sentence is here. And then up there, it's not split in words, whereas here, I split it in words right now. So it's easier for you. Okay. Yes, I'll see here. It is strange. Okay. Okay, so Namo Guru Manju Goshaya. Yeah, it's true that if we have then the blue, then maybe I don't need to make it like that. So here is just the praise in Sanskrit, the beginning of the text. Namo Guru Manju Goshayas. So yeah, I guess it's just reads the way it's Sanskrit, so there's not really any translation that I can do.
Mm-hmm.
But then I can give you the explanation of the Khenpo. And so he started by saying, explaining the reasons why Tibetan texts or Tibetan commentaries or works start with a Sanskrit title. And he says that there is this tradition of starting off a text with the Sanskrit because it is a way of receiving the blessings from the original language of Buddhism, which is Sanskrit. This is one of the reasons. The second reason is also to show that the teaching is not something that was invented, but has a source. It's like, it has some source. It's not an invention. And so in order to show that the source is pure and it is something, it's trustworthy, then there is this title in Sanskrit that it usually put. And so there are a few reasons, like he said, that we traditionally hear at the beginning of each explanation of the text. And one of them is that all the Buddhas, when they get enlightened, they will speak Sanskrit, which is like the Tibetans call it, the perfectly arranged language of the gods. So this is the way that they refer to Sanskrit. And so all the Buddhas will get enlightened and speak that language. And for us to establish the connection, to be able to receive teachings from them in Sanskrit, in the language that they are going to teach, then we kind of have some glimpse of that language with the title in Sanskrit. Yes, so that is the different reasons why we have titles in Sanskrit in the beginning of Tibetan compositions. And then here the Sanskrit starts by saying Namo, which means Chatalo. So I pay homage or I prostrate. And then Guru is teacher or Lama. Khenpo said that it literally it means heavy, but then nowadays it came to have the meaning of a teacher, spiritual teacher. And Manju is actually the part of the Manjushri's name, which means Jambo also, yes, which is flexible and sweet, or yeah, I don't know how to translate that in English. Let's see what the dictionary has to say. Gentle, that's what's usually used for Manjushri. Gentle. Okay, so this is Manju is gentle. And then Kembo was saying, I'm not really sure if the English words that I'm choosing are relevant or not in this context, but that's what comes to my mind, flexible and sweet, Jambo. And then Gosha is young in Tibet, which is the melody. And Ya is the ladun, the La in Tibetan, which is two. I pay homage to Manjushri, to the to Manjushri. And so this shows how in Sanskrit they create sentences. You have the verb at the beginning, namo, and then after to whom, and then it ends by yeah, Manjushri to Manjushri, and pay homage. Okay. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So now going further down. Not this. So, number 7라. So
I'm not going to write it the English for
yes, for this one.
Oh, yes.
Namo Guru Manju Gosha. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, they didn't translate it in Tibetan, so I feel awkward translating into English. But okay. I pay homage to the teacher Manjushri, more or less. Okay. And then here, so there are, yes, in order to comment the meaning of the praise that is called Pel Yishiyan Denzangbo, there are 5 parts. Then Kempo added Densen, which is parts. So there are 5 points. I think he said point actually. 5 points. Order to comment the meaning of the praise titled the praise title Yishiyan Denzangbo, yes, glorious wisdom qualities, global glorious. Yeah, I think I'd better keep it with the Tibetan order because I don't want to try to superimpose some meaning that I do not know of. Okay. Yes, and the reason is that is because it is like in one of the versions of how this praise came about, there is one abbot which is involved, and his name is Glorious Wisdom Qualities Noble. That's why we have his name. They decided to put the name of the abbot as the name of the praise.
Would it be wrong if you change glorious wings though noble qualities? because then I guess it sounds a bit better, but it would be
Yes,
wrong
yeah.
to do that. Yeah, you could.
I don't think wrong.
Mhm.
But even in Tibetan, I'm not able to kind of group things together and say, okay, this is what it means. It's like if you say President
And
book
not a meaning, just because then it
at the
sounds
sound.
a
Yes,
bit,
yes. Okay.
I guess, more comfortable because it seems that
Yeah, there is some meaning.
there's
there.
some meaning.
Yes. Okay.
Duchen, with the Sanskrit, you didn't put noble, glorious as part of the name, did you? Earlier, is it
yes,
part of the
I
name
did.
or not?
Actually, I didn't put it that way because Kempo, when he was in the audio, you can listen. When he's talking about the name of the Kempo, he does not say glorious. He does not say Pel. He only says Yeshe Yonten Zambo. And he says that the name of the Kempo is Yeshe Yonten Zambo, not Pel Yeshe Yonten Zambo. So that's why I left it out.
Yeah, that's what I noted. Great.
Okay.
Sorry, then again,
Uh-huh.
the praise is titled "Know Where You Are." The last thing you were. The praise is
Yes.
titled. No, it's the man who is named. Is it?
No, the abbot's name became the praise's name. Yeah, in Tibetan usually call it Gangloma because that's the beginning of the praise. But the full name, if you go, let's say, here, if you look in the folder, Manjushri praise folder, and you see the first commentary, I mean, right under the MP3 file, you have Pel Yeshen Zambo. You open it, and you will see the title. Yeah, let me bring it here. Yeah. Do you see now? What do you see here? Yes, you see the title of the text is Pel Yeshen Zambo. Yes. So yes, and then he says that usually yes, that's the way it is referred to correctly. Kanoma is like the informal name, but Pel Yeshen Zambo Shitawetoba is the formal name. Okay, so we were here.
And just glorious in Sanskrit would be?
I don't know. Let me check in the Tibetan, in the dictionary. Something strange here. Shri, yes, looks like. Ah, yes, Shri, just Shri. Yes. That looks more, something more familiar. Shri. Okay. Okay. C'est pas bon. Tenju ki chen ki cha shung den me chugitan shiba. Oh, yes. And then there's something that I wanted to show you also is that here, when he says, in order to comment the meaning of the praise, he actually kept the expression Nambar Shepa, which is found in the title itself. Nambar Shepa Nyungunga. You have exactly the same thing, Nambar Shepa. Here in the title of the commentary, Nambar Shepa is used as a commentary. But here in this context, in this sentence here, she is used as the verb. So it is in order to comment on, in order to explain every aspect of the meaning. Number sheba, we could, yeah, put that way, in order to comment aspect of the meaning, in order to comment, yes, in order to comment on every aspect of the meaning of the, yes, then we have all the elements of the sentence. Okay. And so here the 5 parts are: first, the author, Tenju Gitsen, the name of the Tenju, the treatise, the title, treatise, commentary. And here actually Tenju Gitsen, so we see that here it's they used the word Tenju, which is literally like a treatise, and this makes us understand why the Campbell was saying up here, he was saying treatise for Nambar Sheba. And Nambar Sheba, literally it's closer to commentary than a treatise itself, but then down here we have treatise. Okay, so the name of the this, then the homage, prostration of translation, Gyurgicha. Here is of for the purpose of translation. Then Shungden me, so the meaning of the text itself, the actual meaning of the text, which means the subject matter, so the text, the commentary itself.
Is it okay for you if we talk about root text? It's already interpretation.
Yeah, the root text, that's actually what it is, but it doesn't say root text. Yeah, and usually root texts are in verses, and so it corresponds to that idea that this root text isn't actually in verses, so it would be okay. But here it just says Shungden, so the meaning of the treatise of the text.
The eruption aqui, the homage, prostration of for the purpose of translation. Sorry,
Yes.
I don't understand
Yes.
what that.
Yes.
What do you mean?
I'm going to come back to it in the commentary.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and the conclusion and the colophon. Okay. So, and then yes, it is the yes, okay. Are explained. We see Shepao are explained. So this we can leave aside because it's kind of obvious when an English reader reads that is what is going to be said, because we are giving different the content of the content of the book. But literally, that's what it is written here. Shepao are explained. The conclusion confirmed explained. Okay, so then Campbell was saying for the author, then it's just the person who there will be a part in the commentary that deals with who wrote the text. Then an explanation of the name of the text, and then after there is this translation. The homage of the translator, and so Campbell said that in the time of the first, there was this rule that was established to pay homage either to Manjushri or to the Buddha or to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, to the Buddha and the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Yes, yeah, And so respectively, Manjushri would be if we are translating a text that is belonging to the Abhidharma Pitaka, to the Buddha if it belongs to the Vinaya Pitaka, and to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas if it belongs to the Sutra Pitaka. So there was these three homages that were mandatory, and you could not make the choice of making to pay homage to any other deity. You were forced to choose between these three. That was an order, like a law enforced by the king. And yes, and so Kembo was just saying that this is what is here, Gyurgicha. So the praise that was put by the translator at the time of translating, Gyur is the verb itself. So that's why I put the form of translation instead of the translator. And then the text itself and Jukidun. So literally the meaning or what goes at the end. Jukidun, what goes at the end. And so yeah, the Kempo said in English, he said we can understand that either as conclusion or as colophon. Okay. Are you following until here? Is it okay? Yeah. Katerina is blocked.
Break time also.
Ah, yes, right.
No, it's okay. Yeah.
Here, my question would be questions about single words or things like that, would that be better now or later? For example, like between homage and prostration, which one go to more, or that should we do later or
No, it's now. It's now.
It's now?
It's now. Yes. Yeah, because then now it's like I'm bringing to you what the Campbell has said. You bring me your own doubts and what your questions that you have. And then tomorrow when I'm going to meet him again and explain him what I understood from his explanation to make sure that I didn't get anything wrong. Then at that time I can take the chance to ask him questions that you would have afterwards.
Okay, so then this one, just based on what you put on the three mandatory homages, it would be more towards homage probably, right?
Yes, yeah, it goes, yes, more towards homage. Yeah. Yes. But the word in Tibetan is cha, which is literally prostration. Okay. Yes. So until here, no other questions? Okay, so let's continue. Yes, okay. Tangbonis. Yes, no, yeah, that's the break, right? Yeah, so we make the break. See you in 10 minutes then.
Great.
Rupshan,
Yes.
so when you have at the beginning these sentences that the commentary of the praise of the Manjushri called, then the glorious, this glorious wisdom, glorious is an adjective in the Tibetan. It's an adjective or can be a noun.
In Tibetan, it is a pel. It's just, yeah. Then it is the what is there is just the noun glory, but it is used in order to qualify the name of someone. Just like you say Shri Ramdev,
Yeah.
you're saying about Ramdev that he's Shri. But Shri itself is Pel, and Pel just means glory.
Could we put de glorious?
Yes, because there
Would
is a
be
sentence in
clearer.
this in the Portuguese sadhana,
Yeah.
which says praise to the glory, wisdom, and noble qualities. So it's not glorious wisdom, but it is glory and wisdom of Manjushri.
But
How
yeah,
it is in Portuguese?
They have here based, so we have a sadhana which is based on the praise to the glory, wisdom, and excellent qualities of Manjushri.
In Português?
Ah, sorry. Yeah. Louvor à glória, sabedoria e excelentes qualidades. E depois Manjushri entre parênteses retos.
A glória, sabedoria. É estranho.
Porque assumiram, because they assumed that the glory was the noun, a noun, and so wisdom is separate and qualities are separate.
Yes, yeah. Yeah. But here what I heard from the Kempo didn't comment anything about glory.
So it's
just
more
lifted.
than adjective to the
Yes.
wisdom.
Yes, yes. And he said that the name of the Kempo, the name of the abbot was Yeshiun Den Zambo. So wisdom, noble qualities. Wisdom, qualities, noble.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you're lazy, the solution can be just to keep the Sanskrit.
No, but it also makes sense to say, to add an adjective to wisdom once you are also qualifying, saying the qualities are noble. So
but this is it actually, in order, if you try to make sense of the name, then you should go and ask a Sanskritist and tell him in Sanskrit how these three words put together give meaning.
To be translated, yeah.
Yes. How does, if you put wisdom, qualities, and noble one beside the other in Sanskrit, how does it make sense? But you have to ask that question to a Sanskritist. You cannot just imagine by yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
In Tibetan, it doesn't make sense, which is why I refuse to do it.
So you actually put the comma in the
Yes.
only in the wisdom, not the glorious.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I just changed it now.
Oh, you change it now. Okay.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, in Tibetan, it doesn't make sense. If I read the Tibetan, I don't know how to make sense of Yeshe Yönten Zangbo. I don't know. So, which is why I can ask the Kempo if you want. I can ask the Kempo if there is some meaning behind that. Maybe he has more knowledge than me. Maybe that's a question that I'm going to ask him, if in Tibetan it makes any sense.
I mean, yes. I mean, it makes a difference putting it as an adjective or nouns, of course. Even for the qualities and.
Tuba Yongam. Okay, yeah. So this is question that I'm going to ask if the Tibetan means anything or not. But yeah, I think that in this kind of case, the safest for the translator is just to assume that, okay, this is either, I mean, the Tibetan cannot say something, so it's better not to try to invent something, not try to extrapolate. Okay. Yes, okay, so it's. Any other questions until here? No? Okay, so let's continue. 당본이 first part. 케바 카직스 로반 돌지 전체 세벌 시 So here some learned ones, scholars, Keba is learned one or scholar, and some scholars say that it was composed by the, I translate Lopen, which is Spare Master, the master. Master Dorchi, yes. So here Vajra weapon. Vajra weapon. Okay. So that is the literal translation of what he said, or what the text says. And now the commentary. So Kembo was saying that it is only some scholars, not all of them. And yes, not all of them, but yeah, most of them. Yes, some scholars said that it was the master or Lopen Dorje Tsencha. And so he said, well, I'm not really sure about the Sanskrit, but see, it would have been very nice to have the Sanskrit name of this person here, because he obviously is in Indian. So it most probably is Vajra something. And then he said, the problem with Tsencha is that it has many different candidate equivalents in Sanskrit. It could be something like Kila, Washta, Hanu, Arura, Teti, and many other things like that. So I just wrote what I heard in Tibetan, but it's not at all accurate in Sanskrit. And after that, he even said that even for Vajra, we're not really sure about how to translate it, because there are some contexts when we hear that Kulesha is actually Dorje also. So the actual name in Sanskrit is kind of, we cannot really reconstruct it. And yes, and so it is, some scholars say that it was him, Dorje Tsencha, who composed it. And if you look...
Can you leave it the Tibetan name, Suncha,
yeah.
instead of weapon? Also?
Or both, maybe.
As we choose.
I don't know how to write the Töncha in phonetics.
Oh, in phonetics. Oh, let me see if they have here. Oh, no, they don't. Oh, they do.
And what Campbell was saying, and which is nice, is that it is Dorje Töncha is actually the one that is found in the colophon of most of the editions of this praise in the Tengyur and most collections. And then we can see here Loben, Dorje, Tönche, and Zebat also. So here ends the composition of the master Dorje Töncha. So yes, so this corresponds to what Campbell was saying. Dorje Töncha. Okay, and then after he said, well, he said, I personally feel that there are two stories about how this praise came about, and one is that it is this person, this master Dorje Töncha, who composed it, and the other one is that 500 different panditas gathered and decided to make to write an homage to Manjushri, and came up with exactly the same words, the same meaning, etc. And so he was saying it looks rather difficult for so many people, 500 people, to write exactly the same words, exactly the same meaning. And so, yeah, it's kind of, for him, it looks more pragmatic and better to just say that it was one person who wrote it. And it looks much more plausible for him. And then, yeah, at this point, he also said that most of the times, in most of the collections like Tengyur, etc., that's what you find in there, Dorje Töncha, as the author. Yes. And then after, he also said that this story about the 500 panditas gathering and actually deciding to compose and all of this, it looks rather implausible because improbable, because Pandita is someone who has a very great scholarship, so it's someone extremely learned, and so it's very rare to have people who have this level of knowledge. And so even in India, to have 500 Panditas together at the same time, even at the scale of India itself, he said that it was something that is quite difficult to see. Yes, okay, yeah. And and because of that, so having 500 panditas at a given moment in time in India, in the whole of India, is difficult. And so to have them sit nicely one beside the other, just like young monks in one monastery at one place, is even more difficult and much more unlikely. And on top of that, deciding to write the same praise to Manjushri, etc. And so because of that, he prefers the version that says that it was one person, Dorje Töncha, who wrote this commentary. That's what he personally feels. And then we can see that there is this philological influence in him, because it's been 6 years that his brain is being washed by this German philologists who are telling him how to look at the old manuscript, how to decide which one is good, which one is bad, which reading is the correct, which reading is not correct, etc. And so, yeah, it's kind of looks like there is some influence of that in what he says.
I like that you use the word brainwash.
Maybe, yeah, it's like just an exaggeration.
Yeah, of course, it's a joke.
Okay, so let's continue. 파일투 밴디다 알지? 자, Chambela Toba Sever Tröde. And so others another version is that in the past in India, the glorious land pile. So in India, 500 pandits decided to or convened. Yeah, convened. I don't know if it's really the right one, but yeah, decided in a meeting to compose a praise to Manjushri, and yeah, and then here the Campbell was just saying, yes, this looks like a story that we can like a story that people kind of tell each other, or a tale. It looks like a tale more than something that could have happened in the past. Okay.
Could you explain why you say another versions and not others? Other ones? I don't know.
Yeah. If there is a verb at the end of this quote that says that it was someone else who said that, then okay. Let's see. So I'm going to read down there. Yeah. So here we have other people think that, or yeah, have the version that other people think that in the past. Yes, okay. Okay. 휴배 전배양기 진납기 엔드다 금기 제비 다바 탐지 직 corners 휴배 전벨기 진납 종월 이체 행. Okay. And yes, then here for this part, Campbell has says that he has some doubts about the spelling of this here, and he said that he would rather read it as shu. Shu means to engage into something, and he would rather understand it as have asked someone. Shu, like if the guy in the middle, this letter here, would be missing, should be missing. And so, but he agrees that the two are plausible, even though he would prefer one than the other. So in the first case, with that, then once they have engaged themselves into it, through the blessings of Manjushri, all the Panditas came up with only one version, and yes, and then we're certain because of that it was this praise came about by the blessings of Manjushri. And so this is the first version. And what Campbell prefers is to read it as the 500 Panditas decided to write this praise, and then they asked Manjushri, and through his blessings, then they were able to write it. Then the same praise came about. But here it would be they ask Manjushri, all of them asked the permission to Manjushri, ask him, and then after that started to compose it. And then, so yes, this is going to be a question that I'm going to ask him, because he says that he didn't find the original text. And it is what we have here. And so am I able to zoom in here? No. But whatever the case, I don't know if you're able to see it or not, but Tetar Shukpe, where I'm putting here, you can see clearly that the Shaishal Gishuka Sashuk. So it looks like in the original version, in the Jam Khyentse Wangpo's works, it is with the idea of engaging. So let's continue. Yes, so let's write that. They engaged into composing it. Tetar Shukpe through the blessings of Manjushri, all the Panditas all the praises composed by all the Panditas were actually a single Chikonar, were Chikonar Jurways, and became, literally that's what it says, became one single praise. Praise is not there, which is why I put into square brackets. Thus, they teachings, they came to the certainty of it appearing through the blessings of Manjushri. Okay. So he didn't say much on that, except here when it says a single version, a single praise, only one single praise. And so he said that at that point it would be like if today someone has taken one photo and actually all were photocopies or prints of the same praise with exactly the same meaning and the same words and the same way of composing it. And he said that it would be like if there were no variants. And so this, obviously comes from his philology background. where you're dealing with different variants of the same manuscript. Okay. If you have any question, don't hesitate to stop me in the middle.
Yeah, all right.
Okay. Tibetan Lions. 캠프 이시 현대 상보 쉐바 이다 쉐드 yes, and the phrase itself was then given the name of the abbot. Given the name of the abbot. Yeah, and chez deux, we already have up here. In other people think that, others think that, other people think that. So I need to put it once more here. Okay. So about this part here, what Campbell said is that so in order to, when he explained who were these other people, other scholars, other masters who thought in this other way, and then he made his own research. And the one source that he found that was actually talking about it, so Campbell said that he was not sure, and that it was the first time that this idea actually appeared. And then maybe there was already some people who were thinking in this way, but the first occurrence of him finding this version of the story was in Taranatha's works. Yes, so Jonan Taranatha, as he said. And Taranatha, in the work that is the history of Buddhism in India, Jagar Chojung. And he said that there is a version of this history of Buddhism in India by, let's try to find it. See, by Jitun Taranatha, Jagar Chojung, we'll see. Jagar Chojung. Okay. So he said it was in book form, the one that he was using, the one he read. So let's see here if this one is in book form or not. No, it is not this one. So Tendu, yes, maybe that one. Yes, this is in book form. So let's put 250. He said it was page 250. Yeah, no, it's not this version because 250 is already the end. Yeah, no. Well, doesn't matter. Kempo, he said that he found one version in TBRC, and at the page 205, it was 205, not 250. I was looking at the wrong page. Maybe that's why. And not this one, but the one up here. Где-то Говчукова ici. So 205. $98. So 220. $209. $205. Okay, so should be somewhere in this page if it's the right one. No, not here. Talks about other things. Yeah, doesn't matter. So he said that in this passage of the history of Buddhism in India, then Tarandatta says that Lopen Dorje Tsoncha is known as the author of the phrase that is known as Gangloma, this phrase of Manjushri. And it is also said that this praise was written independently by 500 panditas, and that their composition had exactly the same words. And because of that, it is the miracle of deities that made that composition in this way. So Kempo says that this is the only text evidence, the only source where he found that there was this version of the origin of this praise. But it doesn't mean that it is the only one, and that Taranatha was the first one to actually hear that. Maybe some others already thought like that, but he didn't find any other source earlier than Taranatha. Yes, and then then he was again saying that it would be very difficult, in his opinion, to have 500 panditas gather at the same time in India. And so for him, this version looks like not so realistic. And besides that, then he said that in most other commentaries, most translations, most editions, then it is Ngo Rodenshirab, the translator from Sanskrit to Tibetan. Ngo Rodenshirab. And this corresponds actually with what we have here, where we can see that. Okay. Vögi Ngo Lotsawe Gurwao. Ngo Lotsawa. Ngo Rodenshirab.
Excuse-moi, où tu peux montrer? Sorry, could you show where?
Here at the end,
yeah.
the last sentence. Together with the Pandita Bungcha Sompa. And Katerina, if you remember, well, in the lineage prayer, there is one Bungcha Sompa at some point of the C5. Okay. Yes. Okay. So, and then that's the point where Kempo stopped his explanation for today.
All right. My biggest question is on the word engage still. I don't know how to kind of like when they were doing it, you mean, right? Or I can't really get a sense of what, like.
You have to engage, how they engage into, yeah. It's like usually when you engage, I think the Aishuk actually is the same as Juk. Juk is what you find in the Bodhicharyavatara's name. So in Chendusen Bichubala, Jukba. So entering the Bodhisattva's conduct.
So then could it begin when they started composing it, or when they?
Yes, yeah, that's what it means. Yeah.
When they started to do it, like, kind of, okay.
Yes,
Cool.
when they, it's like Shubha is starting something to engage into one action. So when they started composing it, yeah.
So the Sanskrit, this is Vajrasastra, no? It's here in the note of the Sadhana.
Vajra what?
It's Vajrasastra. I mean, written in
For the name of Dorje
of
Tsongkhapa.
Dorje Chompa, yes.
Tsongkhapa.
Vajrasastra.
Okay. Yeah. Can you write it here in the document where I am, so we can all benefit from that? I guess you won't be able to put the diacritics if there are any.
Oh, that is in the here. Right. Oh, it just jumped because you are working. I don't know.
No.
Why can't I put mine?
Yes.
Apparently, I cannot. Oh, it's working. Yeah. It has this the A with the, you know.
Yes, okay.
The sastra sa here.
It's a long A.
Yes, with the, yeah.
With the line on top of it. Okay.
The line.
Yeah.
Here in the last sentence, was given the name of the abbot. The name is again there, yeah? The glorious wisdom noble quality.
I skip it.
Hell, yes.
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 Right.
I wrote because then it's clear that it's his name, otherwise.
Yes. Yeah. Qualities. And actually, I think I will ask him for this spell. How do you understand it? Because until now, I have been talking, but I'm not really sure about myself. So I'm going to ask this question to him also.
And the name here that you just put, that should be paraphrased, right? Because that would be us adding it, right?
The name?
Yeah, when it says was given the name of the abbot.
No, the name is there. The name is there in the sentence.
The name is in the, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
It's just me that I forgot it. Yeah.
All right.
Here. Intenzambo. Japanese. But himself, I was given the very name of the Kempo.
Nossa, eu tenho que ver isto também.
Yes, and of course, when you make your literal translation, do not do like me and keep many possibilities for one single word. You have to choose one reading so that even the literal translation can be read.
Okay.
That is tricky.
If you I mean, if you don't know how to choose, then ask me. If I'm sure of the answer, I'll give you. Otherwise, I can ask Ludo Campo. He's there for that.
Okay.
Because if you're hesitating between two words, you're hesitating between two meanings, and he's there to take the responsibility of the meaning. Yeah, there are like cases like.
But when we are just choosing this part, we're just putting the literal translation. It's only at the end and thinking about everything that we can actually have a more in-depth or be more certain about our choices. So
no, I think you don't need to think so much.
No.
Here you have sentences that are self-contained. They're not going to be kind of there's no other light that is going to be shed upon at least the ones that we have seen today. There's no new understanding that will come after that. So you can safely make one choice. But for example, here at one point I put two different possibilities: name and title. Here, the author, the name, the title, because in Tibetan, Tsen is name, the honorific for name, and name is what we use for the title. There's not word for title. So that's why I kept the two possibilities. But actually, this is not an ambiguity. It's just that literally it means name, but the right word to use in English would be title. So there are some things that I can answer, some others, if I don't know, then I'm going to note as a question for Kempo next time. Okay.
Do you think we should choose one between, because I know you said that below that there it was more it meant more commentary, but then below there was a word for treaty. Do you think we should choose just one and stick to it?
The original has two different words.
And so it would first be commentary and then treaty.
Here, I'm not really sure about the first one. The second one is definitely treatise. Okay. The first one, since he said commentary and then treatise at the same time, I'm not so sure. Then this can be a question.
Okay.
What is that?
It was
at the beginning here, yes.
I think it was the beginning because I put a note.
Yeah. Could you just explain to me why you put Chang after treatise?
Why I put Shung?
Yes,
because yes, treatise in my question, because treatise has more this idea of kind of a work of literature or something like that, which is the meaning of Shung. In Tibetan, yeah, Shung is actually treatise. It's like not necessarily commentary. It can be like Miparam, which is Kenjuk, for example, or Shirikunjatsu are Shung.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, treatise is like a scholarly piece of writing upon a specific content, right? Something like that. Let's see the definition in English of treatise. Yes, written work dealing formally and systematically with a subject. That is Shung.
Okay. Could you explain, Drupshin, the two things? The first one is in the 5 subjects. The first one, why the of, and then for the purpose of, or where? Yeah,
Yes,
of
yes,
the
yes.
purpose.
Gurgicha. Yes. So here it is like the homage of translation and the homage for the purpose of translation.
So one is saying the homage for the homage for the translation, and one is the homage that explains the purpose of the translation.
No. That is done for the meaning for the for what I mean by for the purpose of translation is that usually this Gurgicha, the translator, it's like the beginning of his work, and he says, I pray to Manjushri here, and I do so because I want to have the blessings of Manjushri so that I can go until the end of my composition, so that I do not have obstacles during my composition. So it is the translator's request for blessings to be able to go until the end of his work.
But
So it's not the homage of the translation, because the homage of the homage.
Yeah, actually, there are 2 ways of saying that. Like Hempo was saying, I can this what I've just explained. Actually, I'm not making up. This is also something that we study out of the many different possibilities. The reasons of giving homage. This is one of them. I studied in Nishida, so that's why I'm confident in saying to you. And what he said is that the other reason for doing so is that there was this rule that said that if it is something that belongs to the Abhidharma Pitaka, you should pay homage to Manjushri. And here, Abhidharma is on the side of wisdom. Here, we're clearly in the context of an homage to Manjushri, who is the deity of wisdom. So it falls within the context of the Abhidharma Pitaka. And for that reason, then the homage must be that of Manjushri.
So the meaning is that it's homage to Manjushri.
So literally here it is the homage for translation.
But it's the same word, homage. It's the same word, like homage to Manjushri, or homage to the translation, or is it another term?
It's prostration, isn't it? It literally
Prostration or homage, both of them.
But when you refer to homage to Manjushri, you use both words too, or just one of them?
No, here it's the title of the second part, the third part.
Yes, I know, but I was just questioning the use of homage, because it could be like instead of, because the translator is asking to have blessings to do a good work.
Yeah,
right.
So look at here.
So is it homage or like consecrating himself?
I'm going to show you here. You saw what I'm selecting? Gurgicha.
Yeah.
Let's go up. Here, Namo Chatsalo. So you have Chak again.
Okay. And that one is literally the
is homage.
Is prostration and homage. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And the translator does not bless himself. He's not making a sadhana.
No, it's not his blessing. It's
He's not
the opposite.
consecrating himself.
Is when one consecrates, one puts himself at the under the blessings or under whatever you want to. So when you consecrate yourself, you give yourself to some power, to some influence, right? So you give yourself.
Yeah, I never heard consecrate in that context, but yeah, maybe.
But yeah, that's.
Make, declare sacred.
Well, consecrated because it has the very much the sacred part. But my idea was like instead of homage, something like because he's just asking for the blessings. In a sense, he's asking for the blessings for the purpose of the translation, right? So
to make venerable, that's not it. To induct into permanent office with religious rites. To consecrate bishop.
It's more to open. It's a devotion. More. It's showing that devotion, that openness.
You mean
I don't find
to
that
devote? Oh, you see, to devote to a purpose, right? With
yes,
the deep solemnity like, or the dedication, but
yeah, I don't find that meaning.
It's the C.
To devote to a purpose. Yes, it's like I'm it's like a consecrated expression.
One says that like I'm even consecrate my life to God, like this, to consecrate one life or to consecrate your time or whatever. But that's why I was asking.
Okay, yeah, but no, here it's much more simple. It's like he's asking Manjushri to receive blessings so that he can go until the end of his composition.
Yeah, so just simply you could just say the homage of the translation.
Yes.
The homage of the translation. Great.
Yes.
So maybe prostration here for me makes more sense.
No, because because there is no physical prostration.
But the prostration is precisely to show that
but
devotion
here, the way,
and to be open to.
Yes, but the way he does it is by saying verbally, so it cannot be physical.
No, okay, but you can prostrate mentally, right?
And when you do so, you pay homage.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay. Yes, at least that was what we saw one morning with in the ocean particles story, where Rinzin asked me this exact question about homage versus prostration, and then she said that the Chukwuemeka was using paying homage instead of for Chaksal. And then after we kind of came to this idea that it is prostrating with your mind, which is to pay homage. Yeah, but then I can ask that. I can ask that to the Kempo and see what he says.
Also, if you are writing a letter, I guess you would say you could write something like that without doing it. I mean, I kiss you, I hug you, for example, you don't do it. You write you are doing it, but you have the intention.
I think since it's something that is written there, it's homage, always homage. Doesn't make sense.
Hey, Portuguese guys, what did you guys translate as for praise?
Louvor.
Louvor.
There's an easy word.
It's the same in Spanish. Louvor.
No, I don't. No, it doesn't sound similar, and I'm having trouble because praise is. But anyway, I just wanted to see what you were doing.
I think that there was one word that was similar to that in what I was looking with you, Santiago, in the prayers.
Alabanza.
Lobrare.
Yeah, it was alabanza, but it's what I told you that sounds.
Yes.
It could. Yeah, I guess it's just me. Then it just sounds so Christian. I don't know.
You have here in the dictionary, you have dar gracias, encomio, elogio.
Elogio could be, but it's kind of like an obscure word.
Is it? Because it is used in literature.
It probably, that's what I've been using up till now, but I wanted to see if there was something else.
Ask to your language advisor.
Yeah, I'll send her a message. Oh, by the way, where do I put? I did record it. I went yesterday. Where should I put it?
In the we need to make a.
Or maybe. I also I hope it was all right within the folder within my names.
Yes, exactly.
I gave her, but I also gave her access to those to the document we were looking at, right?
Yes, exactly.
I put give access to her email. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what I understood. So, okay. I just wanted to make sure. And then we did the whole. It's really cool. We did the whole in the comments, so all of her comments are there and all of that.
Perfect. Great. Okay. Yeah. So if in the same folder you can put the videos that you have recorded, so everything is in the same place.
Oh, video. I already put mine.
How did it go, Katarina?
No, I was just telling that I did the transfer because it was in my drive and not in the. So I did put it in the folder.
Great.
But of course, it's still half of the video, so have to finish.
At first, I was a little surprised with mine because I think she's a little younger than I thought she was going to be. So I was like, but then I don't know. It was really good. She's like she's really into creative writing as well. So she was kind of telling me all about all the styles of writing and all the difference of when to put this and that and this, and it was cool. It was cool. And she does know her Spanish. Her mother is supposedly like a really good author, and she works with all of these editors and all of this and all of that. But at first I was like, I'm not sure this is going to work because she looked younger than I thought. But then we'll see. It was nice.
Great. What about you, Katarina? How was Elena?
Oh, I haven't.
You haven't met her.
No, she hasn't written yet.
Okay. I thought you were talking about the video.
No, I just said that my video the other day that we were doing, each one was doing a different video. And I didn't find the doc. It was actually in my drive, and then I did put it in the common drive.
I was talking. You're supposed to, when you do yours, Katarina, with your languages, but you're supposed to record it.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. If they don't mind, right?
Yes. This is. I told her already. I told her it would be recorded. Yes.
Hey, Jushin, I think we're past again for the break.
Yes, for the pause. Yes, for the break. Let's do it now then. how much time has gone, Santiago? I didn't check my watch. 10 minutes past or not?
A little bit past 10 minutes.
Okay.
Not so much. Thank you, Danny. Thank you for sending that to me. I think I'm going
You're
I'm changing
welcome.
it to alabanzas now, just to see how it goes.
I was in doubt if it would work for you. I think this is more Spanish from Spain, but maybe some words will be.
It is.
Yeah, the
It
same.
is. It is, but still,
Still, it's good. Good word. Okay.
it's kind of like it sounds like an older word that I've only heard in church when I went to church when I was little.
Yeah, but in Portuguese, louvor is the same, but you don't
Okay.
have something better.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you know. And you know what really convinced me was thinking like in English before we got used to the word praise, it was the same thing probably.
Yes, probably. Yeah,
It was
exactly.
like,
Yeah.
oh, but not, but well, kind of.
Yeah, I think you can find people are praised to be doing something,
Yeah, that's
praised by their school teachers.
they're not alabados by
Elogio.
their school teachers.
Elogio would be in Portuguese. Would be a different word.
And
Yes, in the most common usage. But louvor can be also, yes, it's religious, but it can also be in more institutional circumstances.
and in Spanish, how would you say to be praised by his peers or to praise a friend, praise his quality? You wouldn't.
We just don't. No, I'm kidding. It's kind of in the tip of my tongue.
You say he's good.
Is when we well, this is a little bit of slang, but we would say like we gave him flowers. We showered, le echaron flores, echar flores. It's a very Mexican thing to say, but it's a little more slang than actual something
Familiar.
you could write here.
Familiar or slang?
It's familiar. It's familiar.
Mm.
It is familiar, but it's quite informal as well.
Yeah, informal. Yeah.
Informal. Hey, in the very beginning, Druption, where it says,
Yes.
Could you say a treaty on the praise to Manjushri instead of or is it of?
Yeah, to Manjushri is fine. Yes.
To Manjushri is fine, right? It's la. Right?
Yes. Does it sound better in Spanish?
Yes, al venerable Manjushri.
Yes. Do you understand that we're praising Manjushri and it's not someone else?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Then it's perfect. That's the meaning.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing more than that.
Mm-hmm.
La is just the idea of a direction. The praise goes in the direction of Manjushri.
Okay.
That's about it.
Okay.
Sorry, I cut you. You were saying something.
Just below that, in the very first one, maybe I missed it in your document, but when you looked up the Shri, that was that was the glorious, right?
Yes.
So it was.
Yeah. Pel is glory, the noun. But it is used as glorious. But then I have this question for the Kempo, right?
That's right.
Yes.
Because he didn't. That's right.
Yeah.
I remember.
Because I want to ask him if it's actually part of the name of the Kempo, or if it is kind of a title that is given to him.
Mm-hmm.
I guess most of you, since it's not really complicated to translate, most of you must have finished the literal translation. So you can already start making the other one, right?
Yes. I start.
Yeah, I'm just like on one or two more choosing between
Sure.
the words.
I have one doubt. Share the screen. Here I have two times when they engaged into composing it through the blessings of Manjushri, all the praises, dananam. Then they became centered, certainty, dananam, through the blessings of Manjushri. Here is really like twice. In the Tibetan, they say the same thing, that it was through the blessing of Manjushri, and then they are sure that it was through the blessings of Manjushri. This?
Let me check it.
Or were they engaging in composing through the blessings of Manjushri? And then they were certain about that what happened to become one single praise, it was through the blessings of Manjushri.
Yes, actually, what the Kempo said is, it looks like he's there engaging after us having asked him. So that's his version. So we have Jinab two times here on the top, and then Jinab down here.
The first one is exposing that was through the blessings, and then just explaining that they were sure that it was
Yes,
like this.
yeah. They became certain. They came to the conclusion that it must have been the blessings of Manjushri. Yeah, the second one is more like that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it makes more sense in English to say that they came to the conclusion it must have appeared through the blessings of Manjushri. It gives us the impression that there's a repetition. And of course, yeah, in your translation, you can put his blessings. So you avoid putting the name two times. But his blessings I would put in, not in the literal translation, in the other one.
Could you repeat that last part again?
So in the same paragraph at the beginning, we have through the blessings of Manjushri, this is fine. And then they came to the conclusion it must have appeared through the blessings of Manjushri. So it looks like we have 2 times the same thing. So in the literal translation, I would leave it like that, the blessings of Manjushri. But in the other version, in the adapted version, I could say it must have appeared through his blessings.
I see.
Because his is unambiguous about who we are talking about. It's unambiguous. There's no doubt that it's Manjushri we're talking about.
I see.
And yeah, at least in French, it's this kind of thing that makes a text much lighter, much easier to read. Otherwise, if you have the same name that comes up again, the same sequence of words, then it becomes heavy. In Tibetan, they don't have any problem with that. It doesn't feel heavier at all.
And that the word there became, it would make more sense, learn English, to be like turned out to be a single praise, but it's literally became, right?
Yes, that's what, yeah, gur is to become.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we could, in the next one, we could probably say turned out to be, right?
Yes, yeah. Then here, it would be nice to have a clear definition of what is literal translation and what is a well-written translation, so that we can know whether we are allowed to keep in the literal translation. It turned out that something became. Because the meaning is obviously unchanged. But then we need to see where is the boundary between the literal translation and an adapted or well-written translation.
And in fact, with became, the same, not the same meaning, it means something else, as if all of them whoop, became magically one.
Yes, yeah. That's what is written in Tibetan.
Oh, so there were several that.
Yeah, it looks like that.
Turned out to be.
Yeah, it turned out, yeah, it's like they became, it's not that there were 500 pieces of paper that became only one piece of paper. But the way that it is written in Tibetan could be that. You could understand it in that, but yeah, it could be. But the context makes it clear that it's not that. But if I just took the sentence without the context, then it could be that they became one. Chik to gyur. Chik to gyur, yeah, it can be like you merge everything into one, and that could be the expression in Tibetan could mean that.
What in the context allows you to think there were not 50 pages and they became one?
Because if it was the case, then they would not be able to compare and see that they were actually exactly the same words and the same expressions. So it's extra linguistic. It's the knowledge of the having heard the story.
And how it was actually that they became one praise.
Yes, so it became one praise. It's just that they wrote individually their own praise, and in the morning when they came out and looked at each other's composition, they saw that there was no difference.
Like it's the same thing with the 7-line prayer, right?
Yes, I think so. I don't remember the story with 7-line prayer, but I think that there's something like that. And so because they saw that there was no difference in everyone's paper, then they say it became one. Is that convincing, Coralie, or do you want that I ask a question to the Campbell?
I don't know. It would be interesting to dig in, but I don't know if it's necessary though. And it's more because I wanted your exposure to transpire to me. That was why I was asking mostly. You've seen this term in many more ways than me.
Yes, Danny?
In Portuguese. In the English, probably in the Tibetan, they say that the Panditas, they decided to compose a praise. And then you say that through the blessings, all the praises became one, okay? But then I think it's better if I write in the communicative version. Eles decidiram compor elogios a Manjushri. Colocar já no plural. Elogio,
yes,
não fazer
yes,
um
yes.
elogio, porque senão parece que eles já iam fazer um só e ficou um só.
Yeah.
Então
like,
eles iriam.
Yeah. Each one of them is going to make one.
Yeah, so various phrases.
Yeah.
So decidiram compor elogios, então eles tornaram.
Yeah. Or you could say each one. They decided each one to compose a praise. Yeah, in Tibetan it's not written there, but yeah, again, because of understanding like imagining the small film of how things happen, then that's how we understand that. But literally it's a praise, toba, alone. Toba tsebartrotis. Chambala toba tsebartrotis. There's no chik or nam or nothing, just toba.
But in the literal, you say one, like elogio, louvor. And then in the communicative, I will make that more clear.
Or even in the literal one, you could put into brackets each one a praise. No.
I will try to not put brackets. I will follow the advice.
Right. That's true.
Especially because you have these two versions, then it's so great because I can have both. Yeah, the literal
Right.
and what I would put in brackets, I just write in the communicative. It's great.
That's true.
After hello.
Yes.
Everybody. Yes. After saying the 5 aspects, which is the several
not aspects,
parts,
chapters, part of the work. Yes.
Okay. Can we put dois pontos? How do you say in English?
Yeah.
The two,
column?
you know.
I use it that.
Yeah.
Where is that?
Yeah, I use that too.
Secções. They also use sections, right?
Yeah, section. That's better. A division of
sections,
different
yeah.
units of a text. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. If you use aspect, what comes to my mind, it's still the same whole thing, but looked at from a different angle.
What's the aspect? Oh, yeah.
Yes,
no,
yes.
no, actually, it is section. Yeah, I remember because of the when we hear these teachings. Actually, in Portuguese,
And actually, when you will be making the final version to be published or to be released, instead of having inline each of the 5 parts or sections, then you can just make a content of how do you
Table
call
of
that?
contents.
Table of contents, and then at the beginning of each you put the title, and then that's it. You do it the Western way instead of doing it the Tibetan way. Actually, this is something new that Tibetans are more and more doing for their own publications in Tibetan. They're taking the conventions of putting the chapters in titles, etc., of the Western way of doing things, and they're publishing Tibetan text like that. So it makes them much more readable, much easier to search for.
Rupchin. After
Yes.
when you put first part, you
Mhm.
say here. Where is it here?
Here, some learned one said that
Yes,
it was
here.
composed by
This here is where? Sorry, I skipped that. Here it
in
means
Tibetan.
in this edition or in the place where he's writing.
No, it is here at this point. Here, dir kevakachigi. So about this, about what we are talking about.
Mhm.
It's not the place and it's not the time either. It's just talking about this. Then there are some other people who also think differently.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, so when I wrote it down, I found that, wow, this is too literal. But I said, well, I leave it to you to make a translation.
Yes, yes.
I'm limiting myself to something very, very literal.
So Danny, what you said was that. Oh, go ahead, Curly.
Go on. No, go
No,
on.
you go
I'm
first.
just-
You go first. No, you go first.
When they say that the 500 Panditas composed it in the past, it means that it was written in Sanskrit at first.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It is it's in the Tengur. And so it is translated by a Pandita with Ngolotawa. Pandita Buntrasomba with Ngolotawa. So it must have been written in Sanskrit at first. Actually, in some language of India, it's kind of understood that it's Sanskrit because, like Dalai Lama used to say, Tibetan Buddhism comes from Nalanda Buddhism, which is Sanskrit Buddhism. So it's understood that it's Sanskrit, but it's nowhere written that it was actually Sanskrit. Yeah. And as we will see, actually, the way that sentences are put is not natural for Tibetans because it was written in Sanskrit. And a feature that I find is really cool about this commentary is that Jamel Khyentse Wangpo actually kept the Sanskrit style in his own commentary. So you still have the feel of the praise in his commentary.
Will you please show it to us when it comes out later on?
Yeah. Let's first see if the Khenpo says something about it.
You wanted to ask something, Santiago?
Yeah. When you said that you put the alabanza in you said you put it in plural. It was when they were deciding to compose the praise, right?
Yes.
So you put they composed alabanzas to Manjushri.
Yes.
I see.
And actually, in the communicative now, I decided to put cada iria compor una alabanza.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I follow Drupchen's suggestion.
E vocês em espanhol e brasileiro têm algum outro termo para abade? Abade is a spiritual director of a monastery. In Portuguese, abade, it is real, it exists, and it's the word which is corresponds, but abad is always so pejorative at the same time because there's so many stories about bad abades.
I don't know, for us, I think it's not pejorative. I think it's common, like the abadi of
Abadia,
Buddhist abad.
Yeah.
O abadi. I use the abad.
Yeah, I don't have another one.
Actually, if you go back to the meaning of the word itself,
Maybe if it's too bad in Portuguese from Portugal, she can keep a campo. What do you think?
campo, yes, yeah.
Yes.
Let me
Is
see
the campo
here.
the spiritual? I mean,
So there's other possibilities here. So you see here, 84,000 has chosen to keep the, where is it? Yeah, monastic preceptor.
preceptor.
Yeah.
Monastic
And
preceptor.
actually, the role of a campo is to give the vows to the newcomers. So, and it is for that reason that once you disrobe, you're not a campo anymore. Because the role of a campo is not to be a scholar. The role of a campo is the one who is actually giving the vows to the new monks, and having the role of the senior monk in the monastery. That's the campo. So maybe in Portuguese, I don't know, there is something that talks a little bit about the one who gives the vows to the others, who gives the ordination to others.
More.
Yeah. Elders, they put here. I don't know how much it is. Yeah, that would rather be neten in Tibetan, elders.
Madre.
Scholar abbot.
I see that in Portuguese they put as como sinônimo superior. O superior do monastério. A gente pode usar superior também?
Superior.
Por exemplo, o superior dos pânditas.
O superior pode ser o more. Antigamente também havia o more. It's superior. It's at the top. Yeah. Madre, and the name Madre Superior. But the women monastics always had a male on top, right?
I think at the time of Buddha already there was this kind of idea also in India. And there was also, in the stories that I translated, I remember that there was always a campo somewhere in the monasteries of nuns. But yeah, in French, we also have this mère supérieure thing.
Yes, mère supérieure. Yeah. But they were not the religious advisor, the orientador espiritual. Because that would be always
not orientador espiritual.
Campo
no, it's not orientador espiritual. Preceptor, the one who presides over the monastic ordination ceremony of new monks. An office decreed by the Buddha so that their aspirants would not have to receive ordination from the Buddha in person. That's the meaning. And it's later on only that it became a synonymous of someone who is very learned. But
it can be also mentor.
No, mentor, no. Yeah. But a superior, if it doesn't have the idea that it's only something high, but if the context makes it clear that it is the one who gives, yeah, then it's fine.
Podíamos dizer do monge superior. Já era uma invenção, mas pronto.
Monge superior.
Seria uma invenção, mas pronto.
Ah, yes. 5 minutes late now. Okay.
Oh,